Welcome to City Life. I'm Beverly Thompson. In Mayor Bill Bell's State of the City address 2 years ago, he made poverty reduction a long-term initiative to help people living in a section of Northeast Central Durham where many residents there live in poverty. In what since has become known as the Mayor's Poverty Reduction Initiative, 6 task forces have been working to tackle issues ranging from jobs, public safety, finance, health, housing, and education. Joining me to talk about 2 projects now underway and how they'll help to improve the lives of many residents in the city are City Councilmember Schewel and County Commissioner Wendy Jacobs. Welcome to you both, and thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Councilmember Schewel, let's get started with you. I know you're the chair of the Finance Task Force, one of the task force of the initiative, and it recently launched a new matched childhood savings account for children attending Y.E. Smith Elementary School. Tell our viewers a little about this program and what it's intended to do.
Thanks, Beverly. First of all, it's great to be here. Thanks for having us to talk about the Mayor's Poverty Reduction Initiative. The children's savings accounts really came from our ideas that we needed some long-term plans for people in the Census Tract 10.01 to be able to support themselves financially over the long term, and what were some things that would be able to improve their abilities to do this. So one of the things that our task force came up with was the children's savings account. We asked, in our community survey, we asked people about their goals, their financial goals, and one of the biggest, most popular, important goals to people was to be able to help their children save for college. And so that's what this is really geared to do. And there's a lot of evidence that people with even a small savings account for college are much more likely to go to college and to finish. So how can we help these people, many of whom are impoverished, do this? And fortunately, there's a new emerging national model for this, and it's called Children's Savings Accounts. And Y.E. Smith School is the school which we're doing it at. Y.E. Smith is 100% of its students are on free and reduced lunch. And so the need for them to save for college is important, but it will be difficult for them to do so. So the matched children's savings accounts, the way it works is this. There's $100 waiting for you as soon as you sign up that will be put into your children's savings accounts to be held for education purposes only for when they graduate. Every year that they're at Y.E. Smith School, we will be matching up to $100 that the families save. So the families have a big role in it. They have to save in order to get their savings matched.
So it starts with $100, and then the families put in more money, and whatever they put in is matched.
Up to $100 a year.
Up to $100 a year.
Yeah. So they can finish Y.E. Smith with up to $1,100 towards their college savings. And as I say, there's a lot of evidence that even with a small college savings account, there's a much better chance that the families will be thinking about, and the children will be thinking about going to college and pushing themselves in that direction.
So it's more to do with the psyche that the child is given by saying, yeah, we're saving for you to go to college, so we want you to go to college, even though I guess in reality $1,100 toward
$1,100 might buy your books.
Right.
But what happens a lot is that families who have these matched children's savings accounts then begin to save more on their own. And that's a big phenomenon that you see with these programs. And so we're just at the beginning, and we hope it will go well at Y.E. Smith.
Okay. Now, I know that there are several community partners that made this happen. Who are they, and what roles are they serving to get this program up and running?
Yeah. So all the funding for the match, the money that we're providing to match the family savings, has all been privately raised. And we have $60,000. That money was raised all in one day, if you can believe it.
Wow,
on the day after, the Tuesday after Thanksgiving, Giving Tuesday, we asked people to donate. And we had a wonderful partner, the Corporation for Enterprise Development. They're Washington, D.C. based, and they work with these new emerging children's savings accounts, matched children's savings accounts all over the country. And what they decided to do was they would match $2 for every dollar we raised, which is fabulous. One of their officers is here in Durham, Carl Rist, and he kind of spearheaded this. And we raised $20,000, and they matched it with $40,000. So we have enough match for this year and for next year for those students.
That is impressive.
So that's great. So they're a really important partner. A second really important partner is East Durham Children's Initiative, because East Durham Children's Initiative has a very close relationship to Y.E. Smith School, and that is the school where they're very embedded in supporting that school. So they're helping us work with the families to save. Self-Help Credit Union is keeping all of the accounts, and there would be 420 accounts if every kid saved, and they have to be kept until they graduate from high school. They're keeping them for free, and they're paying interest on those accounts. BB&T bought the software, and the Durham Regional Financial Center is another really good partner. They are working with 25 of our kindergarten families on financial literacy to, again, help them educate themselves in terms of how to save and the best way to do that. So we have great partners. We're on our way. We feel like we have a lot of community support, and we don't know yet. What we don't know is, and because this is new here and across the country, is how many families will be saving and exactly what kind of success we have. But I think we've set up a good structure to help them.
Yeah, I mean, even if it helps one or two kids along the way, it will have an impact.
Yes, it will.
That's great. Commissioner Jacobs, you're co-chair of the Jobs Task Force, and your team has been focusing on identifying and removing barriers to employment, which is a very important thing to do in the sector of the community that we're talking about. You recently gave an update to City Council on some activities that your task force has been engaged in. Tell our viewers a little bit about that and how it's going.
Well, thank you also, Beverly, for having me here to participate in this conversation. Jobs Task Force is really comprised of 6 subcommittees that are focusing on the barriers to unemployment. And what we find is that the 10.01 Census Tract has a very high unemployment rate, which is over 15%. And that is in contrast to the overall unemployment rate in Durham of less than 5%. So when we try to delve down and see under the surface what's really happening there, what we find is some of the issues are lack of transportation, lack of child care, lack of youth engagement, criminal background, and also just basic communication. And then another big issue that came up is the use of the Holton Career and Resource Center. So those are our 6 subcommittees. What our recent report to the City Council focused on is some of the progress that we have made to address these barriers, and we're really excited, especially about the progress that we've made at the Holton Career and Resource Center. We've really tried to use that site as a place for people to access the resources and the information to help them get jobs. And what we've done there is we have activated a computer lab there that is now open to the public 7 days a week and is staffed by people from Durham Parks and Rec. We have also just gotten permission to turn that computer lab into a NC Works satellite job site, which means more resources will be placed there to help people enter into the NC Works system where they can find out about jobs, upload their resume. We also have a bulletin board there that posts all of the weekly hot jobs. We have a handbook there for people. So we're really trying to make it easy and accessible for people in the community to walk in the door there, have access to a computer, have help with applying for jobs. The other thing we've done there is we've had some job fairs. We recently had a job fair for people who have a criminal background, and it was very successful. Out of 27 job openings that were listed there, 10 people who showed up that day were placed in those jobs.
Wow, that's outstanding.
Which are making above minimum wage, over $8 an hour, and we see that as a stepping stone to other jobs. We also had the Job Links mobile unit there in the neighborhood on Driver Street for 2 months, and over 68 people were able to access the services there at the Job Link trailer. The other thing that we're very excited about is now, starting February 1st, all of the programs, the fitness center, the gym are now free. Free to all Durham residents, and this is really huge.
That is.
For families, for adults, anybody to walk in the door and be able to make use of the wonderful offerings there. And again, we hope that it's going to bring people in the door so they can not only enjoy the resources there, but also help them to be able to get a job. And that is our long-term goal.
Sounds awesome. I know Holton is such a wonderful resource for the people living nearby. Can anybody in the community or in Durham access those jobs?
Absolutely. It's not just for the people in that area. It's for everybody, anybody in Durham. And anybody can go there to enjoy the Durham Parks and Recreation programming too.
Great.
Yeah.
Now, I know another big issue that your task force is working on is to help ex-offenders find employment. In fact, you recently showed City Council a PSA that is starting to run for this particular initiative. Why did your task force feel that this was needed?
We've recognized that we have a real need in our community, that people who have a criminal background, they've paid their dues, but that they just need a second chance. And so we really need the whole community to step up and to do that for people, to just really give them a second chance, because at the end of the day we have a tremendous need for people who are former offenders, or who have a criminal background for whatever reason, are having trouble finding employment. And this can lead to all kinds of other issues in our community when people cannot support themselves and their families. So the other thing that we want to educate people about is a new law, which is called Certificates of Relief. That is a great tool that helps to really support and protect employers who are willing to hire people with a criminal background. And we want to get the word out to the business community about certificates of relief. And also there are subsidies that are available, really incentivize employers for hiring people with a criminal background.
I was going to ask you if there's some reluctance for employers to take that step, as much as they might want to do it.
Right. Well, I think that liability is often an issue, and that's why the certificates of relief are so important. And the PSA that we're launching is going to be linked to a website that will provide employers with information about the certificates of relief and about the subsidies. And we're very encouraged. The PSA focuses on two of our employers, the Scrap Exchange and C.T. Wilson Construction, who are already hiring people, who actively hire people with a criminal background because they can make great employees. And at the end of the day, that's what employers want. They want good employees. So we just, like many things in Durham, we know that this is an issue that we have to solve together as a community. And so that's why the business community is a really important partner in this process.
Sounds great.
Right.
Any other comments you'd like to make about the projects that you're working on, and how our viewers can find out more information and even get involved if they'd like to?
Very simplest way to get involved, but I think one of them might be to contact the city manager's office, and there are people there who can hook people up if they're interested in working on one of the task forces.
Okay.
The other thing I'd like to say, though, is that I really appreciate the fact that the mayor really foregrounded this for our community and made the poverty reduction initiative important and put it on our civic agenda.
Right.
And then gathered a whole lot of people around to make it happen. So we have, a lot of times the city council and the county commissioners, we don't work that closely together, but on something like this where Wendy's involved with co-chairing a task force, and I have a county commissioner who's co-chairing with me as well, and so I think that cooperative spirit is really going to go a long way in this initiative. We're going to, I think that the whole community is going to make a really big effort to make this work, and I think we can.
And I think it's a long-term investment.
It's a long-term
in our
investment.
future.
It's a long-term
Future of
investment.
Durham. Commissioner Jacobs, is there anything
Well,
else you'd like to
I
leave
would
us
just
with?
echo what Steve is saying, is that I think one of the best things about this whole effort is that it's bringing together a lot of resources in our community, and it's really facilitating the county, the city, Durham Parks and Rec, the community. We still have over 20% of the people in our community are living in poverty. And that if Durham is going to really be what it can be, and we know it can be, everybody has to be able to enjoy the opportunities that we have in our city right now. So the revitalization is fantastic, and now we have to be able to figure out how to make everybody be able to enjoy and participate in that. So I feel like that's our challenge,
Well
to
said.
do both of those.
Well said.
Yeah.
Thank you both so much for joining me today. Very
Thank you.
important information for our
Thank you.
viewers.
Glad to be here.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yes, thank
Well,
you.
that does it for this edition of City Life. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and watch us on Durham Television Network and on YouTube. Plus, stay right where you are to get a sneak peek at what's to come in the next edition of Durham Magazine. I'm Beverly Thompson. Thank you for joining me to learn more about City Life in Durham.
Hi everyone! Please be my guest at Taste 2016, a 3-day food festival in April that's made possible by Johnson Lexus, Durham Magazine, and Chapel Hill Magazine. The Huffington Post attended Taste last year and raved that Durham proved once again what an amazing food city it is becoming. On Thursday night, April 21st, at the Durham Armory downtown, let 40 of the area's best chefs, representing restaurants like Juju, Saltbox Seafood Joint, Piedmont, and Gocciolina, cook for you at the Grand Taste Experience. Plus, sample locally made liquors and craft beers. On Friday night, April 22nd, at the Rick House in Durham, we're having a dinner called All in the Nana's Family. This is an elegant tribute dinner to Scott Howe of Nana's Restaurant in Durham. The chefs he's mentored over the years, including Tom Ferguson of Rise, are preparing a 4-course meal in his honor with wine pairings and specialty cocktails. On Saturday, April 23rd, we're hosting a family cookout at Mapleview Farm. We're talking barbecue, hay rides, a bluegrass band, craft beer, kids games, educational activities, and Mapleview ice cream, of course. Buy tickets and get more information at tastetheevent.com. But hurry, we're already approaching sell-out status. We can't wait to see you in April.